Hey, everybody. Just wanted to do a quick announcement before we get into the beginning of the podcast. the beginning of the podcast. Anyways, this is an episode where it's very lighthearted, and literally, Rosey and I would encourage you, if you're offended easily, you may just want to skip this podcast, but there's nothing explicit, but it's purely for entertainment. This is not one of those we're trying to bring some connection of some conspiracy into what the Bible would say into it. So we could definitely have Bible commentary on all this stuff, but this is simply for entertainment. So having said that, you've been warned. How's that?
That was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once they hear it, they'll understand.
Yeah, you'll understand. Don't let it scare you. You should listen to this, but Turner, we recorded what you're about to hear, and Turner had no idea what it was. Yeah. And then at the end of this, he was like, we're just giving you a recording. In case you went into this not knowing what it's about, now we know. Yeah. It's very goofy. This is purely fun. There's no theology here.
Right.
But there may be some stuff that you may
just
not.
Be easy with
Go in, give us a break.
Yeah, we love you.
We love you. Enjoy.
Thanks. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of All Out War. I'm Turner, and I'm in the studio with Rosey. What's up, Rosey?
Hey, what's up?
Episode number 142. That's all I got.
Nice.
What do you know?
Hey, did you know that an English pickle manufacturer and convert to Islam accepted an offer to become the king of a short-lived state of Islamistan in Central Asia, but before his camel train arrived at his new capital, Kashgar, the country had descended into chaos, and the Soviets reestablished Chinese control.
Chinese control. That's like a game of Risk. Like
there's so much absurdity in that one sentence.
Pickle.
There's an English pickle manufacturer who converted to Islam, became the king of a previously Chinese-held, like Soviet,
like a communist country, obviously.
Yeah, Islamistan.
What year was this?
In the 30s.
Islamistan.
Yeah, it's like on the border, because China and Russia share a border.
Yeah.
It's like up in
that
red.
Oh yeah,
you can see it. Yeah.
The far eastern side of China.
Yeah, in the Xinjiang.
Or western side, I should say. Western side of China, yeah.
The Xinjiang people.
The Xinjiang.
Yeah, but before his camel train.
But the fact that he was a pickle
manufacturer that became a king of a Chinese nation, and then there's a rebellion, and
how does it even play out? Like, hey, I noticed you make a really great pickle, and you also seem to be a really good Muslim. How would you like your own kingdom?
In China. In China. There's so many things.
And from England, you got to get over there too. And you said the 1930s?
Yeah, the 1930s.
Oh, man.
So there you go. His name was Khalid Sheldrake. If you want to read the whole story about him.
Sheldrake.
There's too much, but that's a good distilled little.
Khalid Sheldrake.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, dude. And you know how Trump wrote his book?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Khalid's book? It'd be like
Dude, it would be awesome.
From pickle to palace.
Pickle to palace. That's good.
From pickle to palace. The art of the deal.
Yes.
All right, man. Well, I don't even know what this episode's about because
I'll introduce it.
You'll introduce it when we get on the other side. So I would say sit back, grab a coffee, and enjoy.
You're listening to the All Out War podcast.
Always got to get one in.
Every time. Hey, before we go, I have just a quick announcement.
Okay.
Two things. One is our buddy Steven Lauterbach from Despite Popular Belief.
Yes.
He was in the hospital. Some of you guys may have, if you follow him on Instagram, he posted on his story. Just pray for him for recovery. and I don't even know exactly what it was. It was a complication of some kind of health matter. But just pray for him, and we pray for him to have a speedy recovery. Good brother in the Lord. And secondly, our voiceover guy, Seth, who does our intro and outro voiceover, which is beautiful.
Silk and sultry.
It's golden. He's got the golden throat. He just graduated from seminary.
Yes.
So we want to say a hearty congratulations to Seth, and we pray for you to have a wildly fruitful ministry for the Lord, as you have now been, as man has now accepted your calling, and we wholeheartedly agree with that calling. So
absolutely.
So I don't know how much, if we're going to get many more voiceovers from him in the future. He might be pretty busy. So anyways, those are the two things I was going to say. And then the reason I said I don't know what we're talking about or what this episode's about is because we record this live and then we just throw it up on the pod, caster thingy, so it goes into your podcatcher. And I'll just let you cover it from here, because you can explain why I don't know what we're doing.
So I won't go into the whole. I'll tell a little spiel.
All right.
So there's a podcast, the first podcast that I even heard,
like
I've been listening ever. I think they were one of the first podcasts that I know of. There used to be there's this paranormal show podcast or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say the name of it. Okay. Maybe at the end of everything, because I don't want people to go listen to that and then give away what we're doing.
Right.
Anyway, so they this really good podcast. They did an episode, and the format of their show is one guy will prepare. There's two hosts. One guy prepare stories, reading book, whatever, and introduce it to the other guy live. Like, the other guy doesn't know what the other guy prepared, and then they have banter back and forth or whatever. So I was listening to this episode, and they were talking about the book that ultimately we're going to do.
Okay.
And I was losing my mind laughing. I was like, this is the most amazing thing. The story is incredible. Everything about it is incredible. And so I texted you, and I don't know if you listen to it regularly or not, but I was just like, hey, on the off chance that you would have listened to this podcast, don't do it.
Right.
And I was like, I also know that by me telling you not to listen to it, you may want to go listen to it, but please, it's going to be so much better.
And I'd refrained.
You refrained.
I have no idea. I actually
ordered the book that night.
I don't know anything. Yeah. I don't even know what episode it would be. I wouldn't even know where to look.
Right. So so that's one thing about how I found out about the book.
Yeah.
And the reason that I thought it would be good is because we keep hearing about that people like hearing you just absolutely lose your mind at ridiculous stuff. And we get people that still hit us up about the not fabled, the famous Alien episode where you were reading about the Emons and just lost it.
The Emons.
And people
and their sex life.
Their sex life. So we still get people that hit us up and say that's the episode I send to my friends. Like, I'll send a couple good ones and then also that one for fun.
Right.
And people seem to enjoy when us losing our minds laughing at stuff. So
yeah.
I was like, this is the perfect book to kind of do that. So I bought it. I know the whole story because the way that the episode that I heard it on goes through the whole story.
Sure.
Didn't read everything, but I figured we could kind of do a twofer. So if you don't like this episode and you think it's stupid halfway through it, you just move on to the next one, I guess.
Right, yeah.
But I think it would be cool. So the book is set up as a diary of entries of the story that'll make sense. And I was like, we can throw the rest of it on the private podcast and keep going through the book. Because the story is so amazing. So
I have to know what it is. I want to know. So I'm dying here. Like,
it is still. I've not even shown you the cover of the book.
No, I don't know anything.
You literally don't know anything.
I don't know if it's a big, thick book or.
It's in my bag right now.
Right.
And I'm about to pull it out. You're about to see it for the first time. So
the anticipation.
So that's what the
drum roll.
Yeah.
What does it say?
So this is what the cover says. I'm reading it word for word.
Okay.
Paranormal Primates. My calf was attacked by an interdimensional monkey. See the claw marks.
Interdimensional monkey.
That's what the cover says. The title says, Paranormal Primates. My calf was attacked by an interdimensional monkey. See the claw marks. There's a picture of like a scratch on a guy's leg. That's the cover.
The paranormal primate sounds like a band.
Yes. So this is an amazing book. I want to this when I get to this section, because it's in another section, the back of the book and the Amazon
review or whatever.
There's no reviews on Amazon. No one.
I can see why.
No one has bought this book.
How did this guy find it?
He said someone on Twitter tagged him and said, you need to check out this book. This just came out in September.
So it's fresh off the presses.
Fresh off the presses.
They have pictures?
Oh, yeah, they have pictures.
Oh, I have to take some pictures so I can put them on our Instagram.
No, I don't want people to buy the book.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
We'll do it at the end when we finish the series.
Once it's released. Yeah, okay.
You gotta keep some showmanship to get people to actually listen.
Yeah.
So, but I was gonna say the back of this book.
The cover art alone of the picture of the calf with this big scrape in it.
But the back description, I will read it, but because it's in the rest of the book. So
okay. Is it a decent synopsis? Or?
Oh, it's amazing. So I'll point it out when it says, so Paranormal Primates, over 450 true documented encounters in my haunted house by the author is Reverend Mary Makuda. I'm just reading this word for word. Next page. My other published books. 1. Title of the book.
I'm already laughing. I don't even know what they are.
Her other book is called From Hooker to Healer. Okay. So she's written.
I don't want to laugh at that
written,
because it's actually redemptive.
I know. So this is how she describes this other book. Orgies, swinging, a brothel, and a high-class escort. I went from pleasing people's sexual appetites to becoming a world-known healer later in life by using electric therapy devices to give people the power to heal themselves.
Wow. Electrical devices.
Dude, there's a whole
So it's not even Christian.
No. Oh, no.
My eyes are already watering.
My autobiography is about my wild and crazy life of how I went from a life of, all caps, sex, to the paranormal and miraculous healings. Her other book is called My 90 Healing Devices. This is how this is the synopsis.
Okay.
Take a tour of my collection of 90 electric healing machines that use electricity to give your body the power to heal itself. I became a world-known healer using electric therapy devices such as electricity, ozone, magnetic fields, color, sound, frequencies, scalar, Tacon, Tesla Tech, and Edgar Casey devices.
Whoa.
Our bodies are made up of these energies, so doesn't it make sense to heal with them? No question mark. So the other thing is she cannot write.
Okay.
She is the most amazing writer.
Dude, be respectful of her past. She was a woman of the streets. Quite literally.
I got a sordid past too, man, but I didn't write a book about it. Our body, So the other one, so this is funny too. Other published books. What is the third book? 90 Paranormal Primates. 423 true paranormal experiences in my haunted house.
I think she's the move.
She's written 2 copies of this book. She updated it.
Oh, this is a revised edition.
This is the one that says 450, and before it's only 423.
Oh, some more.
And then another book of unusual aura photo experiments.
Mm-hmm. Like lens
a
flares.
Beautiful, unusual coffee table book. Wait. My aura research will teach you what harms and enhances the auric field. See before and after using electric healing machines, the aura of a couple having sex. The aura of a real female alien, the aura of a ghost, chakras of a spirit orb, an aura of a little girl ghost, aura of animals, and many more unusual aura photo experiments.
Wow.
And then she's got, another one about body healing, whatever. Okay. So here's the foreword to the book.
Okay. Who wrote the foreword? Is it like...
Oh, she wrote it.
Oh, she wrote her own foreword. Her own... Is that what you do?
No, not usually.
Usually somebody else writes it for you. They write you like an endorsement. Like
Exactly. You want to get something.
Right.
So the foreword is this, the first paragraph that I'm about to read is the Amazon description and the one that's on the back of the page.
Okay.
Forward. These encounters are 100% true. Explanation, it just starts off. Explanation of different entities have been seen, felt, and heard in my house. The first entity that was seen was a black gorilla throughout these 10 years, a silverback gorilla, orangutans, a 2-foot baby fat tan chimp, a 4-foot fat tan mama female chimp, and a 4-foot skinny creepy looking chimp with pointed ears.
Skinny creepy looking chimp.
With pointed ears, yellow eyes, and long fingers. Also, a tall, big monkey has been seen twice as tall as the ceiling. 5 people have heard the sound that a chimpanzee makes, the hoo 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 hoo.
She wrote it out 4 times.
The hoo 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 they make. I have been taken over by a monkey. The Grim Reaper has been seen twice, and Jesus has been seen. Many sizes, shapes, and colored orbs have been seen. Also, white mists and black stinky mists. A little boy and girl have been seen, and a monk. There is a
monk.
There is a dead man and woman here. Shadow people in and outside my house have been seen many times. A fairy has been seen, a dragon, and an orange and green neon light caught on camera in my backyard.
Dude, the blurry creatures need to get this author on their show.
You won't hear this on Blurry Creatures. We should get this woman to interview.
Have her on.
And she's a reverend, so
right. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's the first paragraph. So strap in, because that's so still forward.
Right.
A tall stereotype demon has been seen, as well as a small one. This small demon gave me more pain than I've ever experienced in my whole life. A pterodactyl flew over my backyard.
A pterodactyl.
We have ghost dogs and unexplainable boobs that occur occasionally.
Wait, boobs?
Booms.
Oh, booms.
There is moaning from the attic, screams, and an entity that walks on my roof. We have objects that disappear and then reappear, and things that manifest right out of the blue. We have poking, hair pulling, blowing breaths, bird pushing, and a black mass that completely engulfs me.
What's bird pushing?
No, burns.
Oh, burn.
Pushing.
Oh, burn, pushing.
Yeah, she's saying we've...
Right, I get it. Okay, I found.
And a black mass that completely engulfs me that I have had to fight off. Commonly, all our doors have knocking when no one is there. People hear the whispering when no one is there. You bought this book because you are interested in the paranormal. They're right. I applaud you for researching the subject to uncover that these occurrences exist.
Hear, hear.
Thanks to all the paranormal shows that use scientific methods on TV and the internet, my family now say that maybe the weird things I have told them since childhood could be real. These shows validate my experiences. I know the whole time I have lived here, I have not tried much to catch anything on tape or recordings. If this house were someone else's house, I would be over there with all kinds of equipment. But because I live here, I am in fear all the time as it is. I have been too scared to see photos or videos for this reason. I already have pics of people's scratches and bruises and have recorded some of these experiences. So,
pics.
Did you just hear what she said? She says, I don't like to take pictures. And then she just goes, okay, so I took pictures.
Right. Well, the other thing is, like, I live in constant fear. Mm-hmm. Call a realtor. Rent that thing out. Leave.
The story. It's I'm getting it. It's
right.
gonna tell the whole background.
Okay, cool. I'm probably gonna regret. Being critical.
On her website, you can see more photos and watch some weird paranormal videos. I did catch 100 orbs coming out of my closet on demand. Period. Video with Travis Tyler and Dragon from Skinwalker Ranch.
Wait, who's Travis Tyler?
I have no idea.
I feel like I know that name. Those two guys are. I think They're like the two guys that run Skinwalker, right?
Oh, maybe.
I think. I don't know. Maybe.
A recording recreated of the hoo hoo hoo. So if you want to,
The monkey.
yeah. Okay.
Oh man.
So
Paranormal Primates.
we're gonna get. So now we're starting getting into it.
All right. Cool.
Oh. So
I just want to. Can I interrupt?
yeah.
If we have any credibility left, it's gone now. After
Why?
this episode,
Or maybe I should say this. My credibility is gone because I 100% believe everything that she said. She wrote a book,
it has to be true.
and it said she told us it's 100% true.
Oh, okay.
She literally said 100% true
Right.
about the author, Reverend Mary Marcuda. I have a certificate of ordination from the Order of Melchizedek.
Okay.
I have a certificate of completion for Reiki and a natural health consultant.
Okay.
I am an aura photographer doing pioneering work in the field of energy. I have 5 published books on auras, electric health devices, body experiments, and sex.
And sex.
I have a collection of 90 healing devices that you can visit and have free demos with.
Okay.
I am an electrotherapist. I teach a course on the subject. Here's a history of the story.
Where does she teach her course? The library?
Yeah, probably.
The local coffee shop?
So here we go.
All right, here we go.
In 2013, I started to look for a fixer-upper house to flip. Mark and I... So let me tell you who Mark is. Mark is her husband. They were married. Then they divorced. And then they got back together. They did not marry. And they bought this house to flip.
Okay. So that's her
Ex-husband-
former husband, boyfriend.
Yeah, but he also lives there with his girlfriend.
Oh, gee whiz.
There's like 15 people that live in the house.
Well, I'm just wondering why our buddy Seth went through all the trouble of going to seminary when he could have just gotten his certificate of ordination from Melchizedek.
The Order of Melchizedek, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Like, come on, man.
So it said in 2013, I had started to look for a fixer-upper house to flip. Mark and I had just seen this house we were very interested in buying for $30,000. $30,000 for a house in 2013.
Detroit.
Florida.
Oh, in Florida.
Margot, my psychic, who I've seen for many years, called me to give me a message from my mom on the other side. This is literally the first thing. We don't know anything about it. So her mom's dead. Margot, her psychic, said she contacted my mom on the other side when she was in the shower. My mom told her to tell me to not buy the fixer-upper house. I asked her why. Margot said that was the whole message, and she could not answer why. She said, please tell your mom not to come to me in the shower.
The dead speak in the shower. That's hilarious.
I just love that word.
Please tell your mom not to come to me in the shower.
But she's a psychic. She's the one that could talk to the dead.
Right.
Oh. I thought how amazing that she used water as a conductor of energy to enhance her power and give me my message. Oh. Thank you, Mom, for always looking out for me. I bought this fixer-upper anyway because we could not pass up the profit we would make. This is also an occurring habit. Is Margot, the psychic, tells her not to do something, and she was like, I would never do that. Anyways, I went ahead and did it.
Thanks for the advice from the beyond the grave.
Exactly. Yeah. So listen, I bought the fixer-upper anyway because we could not pass up the profit we would make. I regret not listening to her warning. When I bought the house, it needed a tremendous amount of work and money to bring it up to the point of reselling. This house is in a $250 neighborhood.
$250.
She forgot the comma and she forgot a zero.
So $250,000.
That's what she meant to say. It says $250.
Okay.
We could tell that the previous owner seemed to have left quickly. Ooh, and it had weird damages. This house is in Palm Bay, Florida. Mark, my ex-husband, and I were in the handyman business for 10 years when we were married. I divorced him when I turned 40 because of his drinking, but we remained close. Mark is 2 years older than I am, and we met at the movie theater in Miami, Florida in 1972. He was 16, I was 14. This is when Mark and I started our lifelong journey of love and paranormal experiences.
Okay.
I worked as a prostitute in an escort service for a few years and in a haunted brothel in Nevada in my 20s. I'd like to hear about
Haunted
the haunted. Maybe I do have to buy the other book.
We were talking about the succubus and yeah.
I've always lived in haunted places and even in a haunted camper with an evil spirit. In my 30s, Mark and I had a successful handyman business. In my 40s, I started my holistic healing business using electricity to heal the body. If you want to read about my early paranormal experiences, then buy my book called From Hooker to Healer. You can read about what happened in each house, in the brothel and the camper.
From pickle to palace. From Hooker to Healer.
It's very serendipitous. Yeah.
It is.
Also, in my autobiography, From Hooker to Healer, I write about some creepy spirit sexual experiences and near-death experiences. I am 66 years old now, and I do not want to die in this house. This is a cry for help.
I know.
Mark and I recently remarried. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. And just want to live quietly, but we certainly cannot do that in the house until we sell it. Never-ending occurrences are happening here.
Especially with his girlfriend being there.
Yeah. Almost daily as you read. People ask me why I don't move. I tell them we have no money to move until we sell this house. We bought it to fix and sell, but after 10 years, the house is still not ready. It has been in construction this whole time. I am hoping in about 2 years I can sell it and get the heck out of here. I'm tired of fearing what can come next and what can happen to my renters. I want them safe. People ask me, why don't I have a lot more evidence with photos and recordings? I tell them, because when I first moved in, I did voice recordings, and right away the words that came out were demon, rip, disembowel, murder. Okay, that was it for me.
Demon, rip, disembowel, murder.
Yeah. Okay, that was it for me. I do not want to go ghost hunting here because if I see a photo of that demon or any of the monkeys, how could I live in? I will totally freak out. I watch ghost hunting shows to learn what they do to get rid of spirits or evil entities. I would watch them in hopes of finding monkeys in someone else's house. That would make me happy, but I would be sad for them.
Make me happy, but sad for them. Monkey man.
Oh, okay. So
the primates, man.
So now we're on to chapter 1.
All right. That was still the forward.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Chapter 1, my weird sexual, paranormal, and crazy life.
Okay, is this going to be R-rated at any
No.
Okay, cool.
She just re-talks about the previous paragraph she had written.
Oh.
Then there's another one, explanation of the different entities that have been seen, felt, and heard in the house.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Because you know more about this book,
Yeah,
obviously. Yeah. Does she have is this her first encounters with the supernatural this way? But I mean, I know she's into the healing stuff from Hooker to Healer, but is she?
You must have not been listening. She lived in a haunted camper in her 20s.
Oh, that's right. That's true.
And a
Yeah.
haunted
Okay.
brothel.
Sorry, I'm literally listening but laughing, and it's hard. Anyway,
it's okay.
I want to chime in so much more. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
All right.
I know it's hard to follow. So we're still in chapter 1. First, she talked about her sexual stuff, reiterating that explanation of the entities, which all about the monkeys and all that stuff.
She actually said, now I'm recalling that since she was a kid,
yeah,
she was having paranormal.
Yeah, she said, I've always lived in paranormal places.
Might have a mental disorder.
Yeah.
The air just left the whole room.
Yeah, probably. Also, I think a lot of drugs.
Well, that part of Florida, it's drug heavy.
Yes.
It's not too far from Daytona. It's not too far from Miami. You can get, all kinds of.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
So I wish I could show people how. So this is the first chapter.
Yeah.
Right? My psychic friend Margot says all of Florida is a portal. There is a TV series called Skinwalker Ranch. The owner is a billionaire named Brandon Fugel. He is a scientist investigating the strange occurrences. I believe that this is the most important show ever. The most important study ever being done. In season 3, the last episode, doesn't name the show.
Right. The last episode, season 3.
Investigative journalist George Knapp said that when the previous owner, billionaire Robert Bigelow, studied the ranch, a portal had opened. This portal showed when it was daylight there. Through the portal, it was night.
Is Skinwalker Ranch in Florida? I thought it was in the West
Coast.
Coast.
It's like in Arizona.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And they had watched a fly into it. I am telling you this.
A fly into it.
They watched a fly into, I don't know.
Into the portal?
The portal, apparently. You got to see.
That's how that movie happened.
You got to watch
The Fly.
Season 3, last episode. Right. I am telling you this because as you read, we believe these portals are in my house and my property. There are actual portals where things come in and out of my house and my property. My bedroom closet is one of them, and the video proof is on my website. The video shows about 100 orbs flying out of my closet into my bedroom when I asked for spirits to come in to get filmed.
What's the website?
You don't have to pull it up.
Oh, man, I just wanted to see it.
I'll show you. We'll talk about it. We are recording an episode.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. There is another portal between bedrooms where people drop like a sack of potatoes when they walk near it. The other one is in my backyard. My neighbor Nelson and his wife, Jude First, both watched a portal with what looked like fire opened here in Palm Bay, Florida.
Okay.
Diane, the pet psychic.
Oh. I feel like it's a carnival. I feel like she's like part of a carnival. And these are all her friends.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
This could be an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah. So Diane, the pet psychic, she came over to see my many healing machines, especially the Energizer Health tool. She asked me while on the device if I knew something was in my house. I said, yes. Do you know what it is? She said there are ancient creatures here. They have always been on this property, and think of it as theirs, not yours.
Ooh.
She said there have never been humans, aliens, demons, or aliens, but she is not sure. There have never been humans, animals, demons, or aliens, but she was not sure what they were. One of them appeared in front of her. She said it was 4 foot tall. It looked like a pygmy with sharp teeth and hiding behind a face mask. It told her they wanted everyone off their property except me because they loke me.
They loke me.
She meant to say like. It said they would never hurt me. Then it told her that it liked the fans because it is hot where they live. Diane then quickly left the house. Wow, I thought. It like the fans? This means in their dimension the temperature is hotter than here. However, this does not imply it's hell. Only that their climate is warmer and they can feel the temperature change from a fan or possibly even the air conditioning. Oh no, I wondered. Is this why they are inside the house so much?
To stay in the AC.
Yeah.
Well, now, hold on a second. So if anybody out there who's familiar with paranormal activity, what is one of the distinctions of a paranormal experience? Cold. Temperature drops.
Yeah.
It always gets colder. You always see your breath, whatever. At least in the movies, right? Well, they get those from like actual, apparently.
Yeah,
you know.
apparently because it like takes energy to manifest or something.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Things I have done to rid of these entities, but to no avail. About 2 years, we have been picking like things that have been so difficult to read for different. One of them is because it's all Old Testament stuff,
right?
And now I'm reading modern day English. It literally says, as of September 11th, 2022, I still live here, and it could be a year or two before I finally get out of here. So she's literally this book
right.
just came out.
She's there right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're reading Old Testament stuff, and now I'm reading literally as modern language, and I still can't write it.
I agree. The Talmud stuff can be tongue-tying. Yeah. We need any listeners in the Palm Bay, Florida area
to go
find this house, take some pictures for us. We need you to go do an investigation. And if you have the guts, ask to go into the house with your phone and record everything and send it to me, and we'll put it on Instagram. I will totally do that.
Yeah.
Instagram. Just use it.
Reach out to her.
Palm Bay. Does she have her address on there anywhere?
We could probably find it.
Dude, if it's on the market, I could look at the MLS listings and see if it's on there.
I don't think she's trying to sell it.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's not ready.
Yeah.
All right.
So things I have done to rid of these entities, but to no avail. About 2 years after so much abuse, I had a priest from the Catholic Church come over to bless the house and the people in it. He said prayers to get the entities to leave, but that did not happen. About a year later, I had 10 Christians here for 2 hours speaking in tongues. They dabbed their...
Sorry.
They dabbed their holy water, spelled W-H-O-L-L-Y.
No, come on, man. No.
I'm not making it up. Their holy water.
It's holy water. It is completely water.
With their Bibles blessing the house, but it did no good. My spiritual friends and I have sagged the house. Sagged? I think she means saged.
Oh, right. Oh, right.
Because sagged the house with their rituals, but to no avail. I eventually gave up trying to get rid of them because it made them mad. So one day, Chris and I decided... Chris?
Who's Chris? A new person.
Guy that lives there.
Okay.
Chris and I decided, so I walked outside and loudly told the monkeys I promised I would never try to get rid of them again. I then left some bananas by the tree.
Some bananas. Some paranormal bananas. That is some desperation right there. Oh my gosh. I feel terrible laughing, but it's really bad.
I paid $20 for this book. Don't feel bad for her. She got $20 for mine.
Well, she's got 40 because the other podcast did it.
Yeah, that's true. I left some bananas by the tree. That night, I was in bed, and only the light from my TV was on. The bedroom door was open, and I watched a baby monkey about 2 foot high, tan and fat, enter the room. And it jumped on my bed and hopped on my stomach.
Hopped on my stomach.
She meant to say hopped.
I know.
I moaned, and my body and head came forward when this happened. You know, it was just like when a dog or a kid jumps on your belly and you're not expecting it, what it feels like. It immediately jumped off me, jumped off the bed, and ran out my bedroom door. I knew the baby was happy, so now I'm not trying to chase them out anymore. Mean things that have been done to us. You kind of get it.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Well, when she sees them, like, are they like, and it's jumping on her, so it's like a physical thing. It's like coming into her room. Like, trap it. Put a trap in your house or something. Like, I think giving it bananas made it happy.
Yeah.
For a minute. I wonder if she had proof that they ate them. Like, they just disappeared.
Maybe. I don't know.
How does a paranormal eat? They don't eat. They obviously get hot. They like the AC.
Dude, I don't know. I will say, what is really funny, I don't know if this was, if I ever did this as a did you know, I feel like I did. But if so Central Florida, where Palm Bay, I think is, I know Melbourne's in Central Florida.
Yeah.
It's on the coast.
Yeah.
Melbourne's really cool, by the way.
Yeah, they have
really cool spot.
Yeah, good surfing there too. I know that.
Yeah, so this is 100% real. Central Florida is mostly a big forest, and it has now, there are monkeys that live in Florida that are now native.
Oh.
I could have sworn I told you this.
That and pythons. I think people are releasing these pythons into the wild, and they are just staying in the Everglades.
Yeah, well, the thing with the monkeys is that, and this was right where I used to live in Florida. Like, I lived minutes, not minutes away. I lived in the Central Florida, and there's a huge just national forest. So when they filmed the original Tarzan movie in like the 30s or 40s.
Yes. You did say this. Yeah.
So they brought a bunch of monkeys from Africa because they're like, well, it's just easier to buy monkeys, put them on, let them like run up in the trees for when they have like shots of the boat coming down through the river and you can see the monkeys in the trees.
Yeah.
And then they just realized, how do we get these monkeys back in the cages? They're not trained monkeys.
Bananas.
And they probably tried, and then just like, whatever. So those monkeys had just reproduced, and now they're native.
They're indigenous now to Florida.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Due to the Tarzan movie.
All right.
So
back in the 40s.
Exactly.
Or 50s or whenever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's jumped on her,
Yeah.
and she
It
knows
said,
it's
thanks
happy.
for the bananas. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I ever sell this house? She's like pleading. How in good conscience, especially if kids are moving in, does it mean that the next owner will experience the same awful experiences? I have not had professional ghost hunters here because it can make it harder to sell a haunted house, but I think legally I must claim it that if I do. However, this is a shame because people must know that these ancient monkeys and portals are real. Next little section. These are any of the different types of monkeys, Bigfoots?
Bigfoots.
Let me re-say that sentence again. These are any of these different types of monkeys, Bigfoots?
Okay.
Question. I could say for sure. I couldn't say for sure.
Yeah.
But the tall one that had been seen twice by Tim's in his seems like this one could be. Why each time it appeared was its face illuminated. I do like that it did disappear when Tim yelled at it to leave. We don't know who Tim is, but it's another guy that lives there.
So we've got Mark, Chris, Tim, and then the parrot, the
mayor. Yeah.
Yeah.
This shows it understood what he had said and did what he asked. The other incidents, I believe, that we may have a Bigfoot here is the moaning coming from the attic.
The moaning.
So they got all the orangutans, the gorillas, and then they have a Bigfoot that lives in the attic.
He's like the leader. He's like, send in the mini monkey to jump on her belly.
Exactly. You have to remember, they also had a pterodactyl. They had Jesus. A monk. Dead
people. Auras. Or orbs.
On the TV show Expedition Bigfoot, they have a recording of what they believe is a Bigfoot that they loudly played into a forest. When I heard it, I was shocked because it sounded exactly the moaning call that comes from my attic. I could capture that sound from the TV show. I'll put it on my website.
From the TV show instead of from your attic, right?
Okay.
She's interesting woman.
Layout of my house.
Oh. Well, then there's pictures. Cool.
There is, yes.
I'll find it.
It will be
I'll find it on Google Earth. I'll figure out. All right, go ahead.
It just gets better. There's so many things about this. It will be easier to understand these experiences if you know the house's layout. Here are some photos. This is a pic from the front of my house. As you walk into the house, you will see the hallway. You can walk straight into the living room or make a left and go down another hallway to the bedrooms. As you walk down this hallway, there is a guest bathroom on the right, and across from that is a rental bedroom.
Huh.
A little further down the hallway, straight ahead, is another rental bedroom, and my bedroom and master bath are on the right. When you head back to the entrance hallway, on the right is the living room. Talks about the portals.
The portals.
Florida room. Then to the right of the kitchen is the dining room, which opens into the Florida room. This room has been cut in half to make it a rental.
Is a Florida room like just
It's the outdoor room, I think.
Like a screened-in porch area?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just love this. This is the whole thing that I wanted to talk about with the rooms. Is there's 20 people living in this house, right?
Right.
And it's only a 3-bedroom house.
Right, that's been modified.
But they just keep putting up walls. I don't know if they put up walls. They just cut it in half.
Right.
And then turn it into 2 bedrooms. Because you may be wondering, how are there so many people living in it?
Right.
It's because they just turned rooms into bedrooms and divided them up.
She doesn't need to sell it. She's got a rental
That's what I'm saying. She has
It's a drug house, man.
Oh, I kind of think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll just read this again. Then to the right of the kitchen is the dining room, which opens into the Florida room. This room has been cut in half to make it a rental. As you open the other door, it goes into the rental bedroom. In that room is another door that goes to the outside. Outside, in my backyard, is a door that goes into the garage. The garage has been cut in half to make it a rental room.
Of course it has.
For Isaiah's, who has lived here the whole time.
That's who we need to interview.
Yeah.
Isaiah's.
He's the Guatemalan.
He's from Guatemala.
Yeah.
Isaiah's.
You'll love that. Yeah. And the pictures are so terrible. You can't even make it. Like, they're so blurred. The backyard is large and has an 8-foot privacy fence surrounding it as you walk from this side of the backyard to the other side. A beautiful cottage has been built for Chris in the back corner.
Cottage.
Next to her room is a 7-foot copper pyramid that seems to have created another portal. That's what I love. It's just like, there's the bedroom, there's the cottage, there's a 7-foot copper pyramid that accidentally opened up another portal. Guys, literally, there's a cottage. Next to her room is a 7-foot copper pyramid that seems to have created another portal. As you keep walking, you can enter the house through the porch screen door and then back into the living room. I know this can be confusing. I hope the photos help. This is a weird photo because of the white rays of energy coming through the sky and hitting the ground. It's just the sun.
The white rays.
It's just literally the sun rays coming down. But I love that. It's just cottage, copper pyramid. Then you go back into the house.
Right.
Okay. Before reading these documented encounters, I will explain who the people are. There you go.
Okay.
So now we're going to get to learn.
Finally.
Mark is my lifelong love. We met when I was 14 and he was 16 years old. Now we have been together for 52 years. Every time something scary happens here, I always run to him because he is my rock. He makes me feel safe.
Sorry.
Wait. Unfortunately, because of his cigarette smoking, he has to have his bedroom in the porch.
Mark.
This is a photo.
We're gonna go to hell, dude.
Why?
We're laughing at this. All right, go ahead.
This is Mark and Tina in front of a large 750-volt Tesla coil he built.
He built a Tesla coil.
Yeah.
I wonder where he got the... Weren't they all like...
I don't know.
We can't build Tesla stuff now.
Dude, I have no idea.
Mark, impressive.
Right. Okay, so remember, Mark, her lifelong love.
It's a rock.
Her rock. He smokes cigarettes, so he's got to sleep on the porch.
Sleep on the porch. Mark,
They were married. They divorced.
Yeah.
He got sober. They remarried again. Tina is Mark's girlfriend for 15 years.
For 15 years. Oh, cow.
She lived here with us until she...
What?
I'm so sorry.
What did... Say it.
I don't know why
Say
you're
it.
laughing so much.
Because you're laughing. Tell me, what is...
Tina was Mark's girlfriend for 15 years. She lived with us until she died of cancer.
You're making me laugh at that. Come on, man. That's horrible. Why'd you make me laugh at that? Come on, man.
I didn't make you laugh at anything, dude. I'm just reading it.
I didn't know she was going to be dead from cancer, man.
Hey, it's okay.
That's horrible.
Hey, don't worry. You will see she is still here and is a very powerful spirit. Always doing nice things for us.
Of course. Oh, my gosh.
So, I don't know when they lived together or if they remarried while they were still dating. Yeah. I don't know.
Mark's such a rock. He had a girlfriend.
Rock. Oh, man.
Mark smokes all the time. Put two and two together there.
Oh, dude. Okay. I'm sorry. What's making me laugh is I didn't. It's because it's the way that she just words it. It's like I'm reading a little bit ahead of myself, and then I'm like, oh my god, I know, because I'm hearing the sentence as I'm reading it, and then I just.
Sorry. All right.
Chris, she is our wonderful friend who has lived in the cottage in the backyard since we bought the house. She takes care of everyone in the house. We would not be where we are today without her help with fixing this house up. We love her.
Oh.
Isaiah's. He has lived He has lived in the garage bedroom since we bought this house. He is a sweet Guatemalan man who works hard in the lawn care business.
In the what?
The lawn care business.
Oh man. He lives in a garage.
He lives in a garage bedroom. I just, the way that she says he is a Guatemalan man that works very hard in the lawn care business.
Oh. This has to be made into a movie. We need crowdfunding now. We need to make this into a movie.
Dude.
We haven't even gotten to the paranormal stuff,
We haven't
really.
even gotten to the paranormal stuff.
Just the characters. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So Tina's not even there. Like,
No.
she's dead. So you've got Chris, who's a woman,
Yes.
who works hard on the house. Then you got Isaiah's,
Isaiah's who's the Guatemalan lawn.
lives in the garage. And
This-
you got Mark, who's a chain smoker, sleeping on the
Yep.
porch.
All right, so there's more about Isaiah's.
Okay.
This poor guy, you will see that he has put up with almost constant abuse from the monkeys and other spirits. A brave man. He honestly gets it the worst.
Why doesn't Isaiah's move? You live in a garage, dude. It'd be
don't
better
know.
just get a tent on the beach. Like, come on, man.
Remember, these are all people that are living in a 3-bedroom house.
Right.
Lorraine has been our friend for a couple of years before buying this house. When it was ready, she and her husband and their 2 Chihuahua dogs, Jaeger and Quito, moved it. Lorraine had so much so much awful things done to her by these damn spirits and monkeys, especially the creepy one we call Charlie. She was very brave putting up with all this abuse. I don't know how she did not run out screaming, "I'm moving out." They were in the bedroom across from me until some years later they moved out and Tim moved in. Tim, when he moved in, he told me he was a religious Christian man and he thought these entities would not bother him, that he would rebuke them. Well, he as wrong.
He what?
He as wrong.
He has wrong.
He also had many mean or scary experiences. I told him that I know a monkey.
What? Tell me.
I'm going to tell you. I told him that I know a monkey lives in his closet because he just before he moved in while cleaning the room and had a temper tantrum and growled at me. He found out this is true. He is in his 60s on disability from his lungs and bad back.
He needs to stay away from Mark, too.
Yeah. James lived in the Florida room that we had cut in half to make a rental bedroom. He was in his 60s and lived on Social Security. He was not a well man, but drank his beer every day. This room opens into the kitchen and outside. He had many nasty occurrences with spirits and monkeys. He stayed some years, and when he moved back to North Carolina, Tom moved in.
All right.
Tom lived in the Florida bedroom and had a few encounters with spirits and monkeys. We thought this was because his big dog lived with him. When he moved out, William moved in. William, this helpful man, is still living with us, thank God, in the Florida room. He lives on Social Security and in pretty good health. I think they're just getting like all these old people.
Homeless old people.
Yeah, he is very helpful around the house and a sweet, caring man. He has also put up with many encounters that you will read about. He has heard a monkey in his bedroom making the hoo 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 sound. I had him make that sound. It is the same one we have heard.
Oh.
Nelson is William's nephew that comes to visit occasionally. He has had some experiences while being here. He and his family live a few blocks away. They also have had 2 experiences with monkeys. So we know they not just on my property.
Oh, they have their house.
Apparently so.
The monkeys are multiplying.
Yeah, Carrie has been a close friend for 25 years. She has had some occurrences happen while visiting me. She told me many years ago, not far from here, while driving, she hit a Bigfoot, but it disappeared.
Was the car damaged?
It doesn't say.
Come on, man. You can't say that.
There have been 6 more renters that have had paranormal encounters here, but I am no longer in contact with them. There are always 7 to 8 adults living here. As you will see, we are all sickly and elderly. No one is on illegal drugs or is nasty drunks. There have not been young renters because they do not fit in. I make the rent here cheaper than others because they all lived on a fixed income and I care about them. This way, they can have money to live on through the month. I believe this is partly why they stay no matter what awful, scary, paranormal things happen to them. I only have male renters because they don't get as scared as women. My renters are all loved and have tons of free food from the food banks. I wish we could all live here without being attacked or frightened.
It's painting a picture. It's painting a picture for me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I can see the clientele, and it's probably $200 a month per room.
Probably, yeah.
And like they have to share a bathroom. Like there's probably one full bath in the whole house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
$30,000 they bought that house. It was like a crack house probably.
Oh, I'm sure.
So what do you think it is, the drugs, or do you think it's really paranormal primates?
How about we start getting into them and we can see.
We've been going on almost an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, how far are you going to go before we throw the rest of it onto the private podcast?
I'm trying to think because she has epilogues. Like, do you want to? She has one called "My Psychic Dreams Connected to My Healing Machines in Skinwalker Ranch."
Wow.
Paranormal experiences before living in this house. Some ghost sightings not in this house. I'll just start.
Yeah, we'll find a good inspo. There's no chapters. It just keeps going, right?
Yeah, that was all the first chapter that we just read.
So we're done with the first chapter?
Yeah.
Okay. So we know everybody that's lived and living there and some of their torture and deaths.
Yeah. There are...
What?
I forgot about this.
What? What?
What is... The table of content.
Content.
Chapter 13 is We Got Married in SeaWorld's main aquarium. Okay. So I'll just start going with this.
Okay, all right, go ahead, man.
Okay, so chapter 2, over 450 now, paranormal occurrences in my house. I know what you are about to read seems fake, but I assure you 12 people are not lying. All right, Turner?
Okay.
That's a monkey.
The monkey.
October 2nd, 2013. These paranormal encounters are going to start from the first day of construction before I moved in. The first time something happened was the day after we had a major trimming in the backyard on a big tree. Chris and Tina were sitting on the back porch. It was around 5:30, just before dark. Chris saw something out of the corner of her eye. She turned her head quickly to see a pitch-black-looking energy that resembled a monkey or gorilla under the tree. It stood about 4 foot tall. It took off running fast toward the front of my house. She said it was hunched over, long long arms, and ran like a gorilla. Tina had seen it also. For Chris, it was her first paranormal experience, but not for Tina. Needless to say, they were extremely scared when they came in from the porch to tell Mark and I about it. Next day, October 3rd, 2013. When Chris and Tina started telling Mark and me what had happened, Mark said, "Okay, well, I will tell you what happened to me." He said, "I had been keeping it from you because I did not want you scared." I said, "Just tell me." The dialogue writes itself. This is move over William Shakespeare.
That's right.
He said, "I had seen it in my bedroom 3 times. For the past 2 mornings when I have woken up, still in bed around 6 a.m., a black cloud of energy floated into my bedroom and then suddenly disappeared."
Doesn't he mean the porch?
Yeah.
Black smoke floating into his porch, screened-in porch. They forgot to tell you about the dude smoking crack right down the outside the corner of his house.
Mark said both times it had a horrible smell to it. He also said it was a man and a very bad body odor.
Smoking that sticky green stuff.
Perfect. He said it was a man with very bad body odor, not like a dead smell. He said it was 4 foot tall also. He said then when he was in the house alone, he saw it float down the hallway into his bedroom and disappeared. Amazing, they said. It was 4 feet tall. Is this the same gorilla-looking thing? Can it shapeshift, come in and out of my house whenever it wants? How creepy is this? We were scared. We wondered if it would hurt us. Why was it here? What did it want? October 4th, 2013.
So many questions.
The next morning, Chris and I went to the convenience store, and we were talking about what had happened, still being very freaked out. I said to Chris, "Are you going to tell your friend about it?" And Chris said, "No, she would not believe me." A man in the next aisle had been listening to us and said, "I believe you."
You just, like in my head, I can see this. They're at like the Circle K. He just sticks his head above the candy. I believe you. I believe you. Yeah, can I borrow a smoke?
Yeah. Is it 4 foot tall and black? We said yes. We had not mentioned that. Do you live over in that neighborhood? He asked. Yes, we do, I answered. He said, I have seen it. He said he was outside his house about a month ago and saw this black energy 4 foot tall running across his yard. He said he thought it was a weird looking black dog, but it was not a dog. He said it scared him, so we know that it's not just for my house, but it runs the neighborhood.
It's the mafia.
Probably.
The primate mafia.
October 11th, 2013. After this experience, something happened about a week later. We did not think it was related to the stinky monkey thing, but to a nice event from a sweet spirit. Something fell out of the air and onto Mark's head. Something fell out of the air and onto Mark's head, slid down his neck, hit his calf, and then onto the floor. It just manifested and fell into...
And like worked its way down his back. And
I guess so. Mark was standing in the doorway between the living room and the hallway. He was standing there talking to me. I was sitting on a chair listening to him. All of a sudden, he is rubbing his head and twirling around saying, "What was that? What was that?" I'm sitting here watching him, and he said, "What's wrong with you?" He says, "Something hit my head and slid down my back." And as he told me, he looks on the floor and pulls up a silver chain necklace. He was very upset. He did not know what was going on. He held the chain out, and he asked me if it was mine. I said, "No, I've never seen it." We called Tina and Chris to come into the living room right away. He asked them if it was either of theirs. Chris said in a very loud voice, "What the hell?" 5 exclamation marks. "How did you get that?" she asked. She said she lost that chain at the Florida Keys a couple months ago. She had thought that a woman had stolen it from her. She asked if there was a pendant with it. Mark said no and explained it came right through the roof, ceiling, or the air and landed on his head. Needless to say, we were all in awe. Chris said, "I can prove it is mine. I bet you there is a bit mark." She wanted to say bite mark on the class because in the keys, she misspelled keys.
Wait. Okay.
She spelled it right the first time.
Keys.
I had to bite
K-E-Y-E-S.
K-E-Y-E-S.
Oh.
I had to bite the clasp closed, she said. We looked, and sure enough, there was...
What?
Sure enough, it was, so we gave it to her. Chris could not believe it. I told Chris to take this that way, that it was a gift from a sweet spirit, a spirit who is letting you know that you are protected in this house. Possibly a deceased relative, your spirit guide, or an angel. That was not... This was not that gorilla-looking spirit.
The black.
She wanted to leave and never come back into the house. This was the first time in her life that she had a paranormal event happen to her, and now twice within a week. She decided to stay for a month and help fix up the house. October 18, 2013. I was waiting in line on my cell phone waiting for a person to answer. They had music playing in the background. I had put my cell on speaker and was holding it in my hand, and all of a sudden I heard a soft woman voice whisper from my phone. I paid no attention until I heard it again, and it freaked me out. I ran out to the porch where Mark, Tina, and Chris were smoking.
Smoking.
The other thing is, she said she was waiting in line.
Right.
And then she heard a voice and ran all the way back to her house. I held up my cell and said, listen. They heard I was in line waiting for someone to answer.
In line on the phone.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Waiting for someone to answer my call. All of a sudden, the soft voice whispered through the speaker of my cell phone. We could not make out what the sentence was, but their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Then another sentence again, too garbled to make it out, but this scared them so much they ran out of the screaming door.
Right out of the screaming door.
Yelling, oh my goosebumps. I was giggling but scared and excited at the same time. They came back in and sat down. I said, listen to her. This dead woman has tried to communicate with us. Oh. So every 5 to 10 seconds, she would try to say something. I told her we cannot make out what you were saying. Try to say it more clearly. We asked her if she was dead. And clear as a bell, she said, yes, I am dead. Then Mark asked her how much time we have. Clear as a bell, she said, not long. Soon after that, the phone call lost its connection and went dead. Then 10 minutes later, Mark had a phone call, and as he was talking on the phone, the ghost lady came through the phone with the sentence that we could not make out. But when we asked again what she needs, she went on with the longest 3 sentences. The phone went dead again. The woman who had called Mark could hear the lady.
What did she say? She never tells us.
Doesn't say. The next morning, Mark and Tina drove in their van to the store and turned the radio on. In 5 minutes, while the radio was on, the same soft voice came through the radio with her whispers. She was so loud that they could not hear the song that was playing.
Wait, is it a soft whisper or is it so loud that...
Dude, I don't know.
Okay, all right.
It's a loud, soft whisper.
Okay, gotcha. Hey. Quit smoking.
They got scared and immediately turned off the radio. She desperately wants to come through and talk to us. I asked my friend who is a psychic and believes it is a woman who connected to the property. But she believes she is trying to warn me of something. The house was built in 1976, so I suppose it could be a woman who had died possibly. I will do some research on the property. I will also get a recorder to see if I can capture her voice and video. I took a photo of the big... I'm just going to skip like the actual dates.
Yeah.
I took a photo of the big orb that came through my window with a cell phone. There are actually 3 consecutive photos, but I'm only showing you this up close of it. I was sitting in my chair next to the window. I had a cell phone in my hand and saw something white streak across the room. I took many photos, then I saw the large orb. When I cropped in and zoomed in, you can see some white stringy plasma around the top. The other 2 photos also show this. It was nighttime and my overhead light was on. I wish I knew what it was or what it was. It came through my bedroom window and into my room.
I wish I knew what it was and what it was.
On the second night,
oh man,
Tina was watching TV in her bed, sitting next to the window. She saw something very quickly run up to her window, peek in, and run off. And then 20 minutes later did the same thing, and it was black. She said it was the same black thing that was under the tree. She slept in my bedroom that night because she was scared, but around 4 a.m. she woke up and saw the black energy float by my room and into Mark and her bedroom. She got up and turned the light on her room, but saw nothing.
This lady, these stories. I'm sorry. They're so vague and just like.
Just wait. November 1st, 2013. This morning I woke up to a female monkey ramming my head into her crotch.
What? Oh. What else did it do?
She jumped on my bed, sat down, spread her legs, took her hands and placed
No.
them on both sides of my head.
No.
I was laying on my back while she rammed the side of my head into her crotch back and forth. I could tell it was a female because there were no genitals. She was fat and was about 4 feet tall. I started in my head to scream to God for help.
Alright, what else did you?
Then I screamed a second time in my head louder, and a third time even louder, and then she stopped.
Screamed in my head.
Yeah. I sat up and she was gone. This scared the hell out of me. For the first time I realized that if I scream loud enough, God will help me. A great revelation. Next day I smudged with the herb sage smoke every corner of the room while saying prayers to release it. Also so that no negative energies are not allowed in the house, but it not work.
Maybe they don't understand her when she speaks.
Also, so that no negative energies are not allowed in the house, but it not work.
No negative. That's like a double negative.
I know. I told you this is the most amazing book ever. So nothing happens. That was November 1st. This is December 10th.
All right.
Mark told
Let's
me.
take it up to the end of the year. Does she have like up to like the new like December 31st in there?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's take it up to there, and then we'll leave it from there.
Okay. Perfect. December 10th, 2013. Mark told me he saw a white mist floating around his bedroom sometimes. Later that same day, Tina had seen half a dollar-sized bright green orb rush from one side of the porch to another. Later that night, I caught this green orb. So what is it? I watched a white orb in my bedroom fly around the room, and as it flew in front of the TV screen, it created a streak of static EMF field that disrupted what was on my flat screen. It was about 2 inches in diameter, but I believed it was my spirit guide or my deceased mother protecting me. This disruption to the TV proves that orbs have a magnetic field. Electromagnetic field.
Electromagnetic field orbs.
December 14, 2013. The other night, just as I turned the light out and crawled into bed, I heard 3 knocks on my door. I yelled to come in. I repeated it without response. So I opened the door and no one was there. I thought, oh, I just let a ghost into my bedroom.
Because they need to come through the door, right? Cannot get in unless you open the door for it.
Those are vampires, yeah. I went back to bed and slept on my right side for the night. In the morning, I was walking my dog in the park with a friend. Suddenly, I had a burning pain in the back of my knee. I asked my friend to look and see why I had pain there. He said it was a weird-looking scratch on the back of my knee. I said it was burning the inside of my whole knee. I could not figure out why at that moment. When I got to take a look, it was a scratch across my knee as it was done while I was asleep on the right side. It was scratched that way, not down my calf. It took about 20 minutes for the pain to stop. I'm sure it was that ghost last night that knocked on my door and scratched me.
So is that the picture on the front of the book?
I think so, yeah. But why did it not start to burn hours later? This ghost crap is starting to get to me. This is very upsetting to be physically attacked again. December 16, 2013. The other night, Mark was on the toilet.
That's all you had to say.
I love it because it's like, you may think, so it's like, it kind of like, it's not really that kind of exciting. It's not really that exciting. And then just out of nowhere, boom.
Yes.
That's why when I told you, I was like, we have to read the whole, because it's amazing. It's nonstop.
All right.
So the other night, Mark was on the toilet. It was around 11 p.m. when I heard him scream in fear. I run to him to see what is wrong. He told me that he has been punched hard on the right side of his back. He was in tears, saying, I can't take this much longer. I got so angry at this incident. The punch must have come through the bathroom wall because the toilet is up against it.
Well, no, he let it in when he opened the door.
Probably.
When he lifted the seat.
Yeah. Nasty monkey.
Nasty monkey.
I don't think a human ghost would have been this mean.
Oh.
December 21st. Our friend Lorraine, her husband...
Wait, December 21st?
21st.
Yeah. You know what day that is?
Your birthday?
Winter solstice.
Oh.
That is the, it's a very high occult day.
Oh, good to know. Yeah.
Let's see what happens on that 21st.
Our friend Lorraine and her husband Georgie, I think it might be George, but their two Chihuahua dogs, Jaeger and Guido, moved into the bedroom across from me.
Did she already mention them, right?
Yeah.
This is before they moved out. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
I feel very happy about them being here. I love them all very much, and this made me feel safer. They had been hearing about the paranormal stuff that has been happening. They were not worried about it. The next day, she was tapped on the shoulder while in bed watching television with her S.
Her S?
It just has the letter S.
With her S.
She came to the porch to tell us what happened. We said, well, it hasn't taken long for these spirits to start with you. December 28th, so nothing happened on Christmas. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, nothing happened on Christmas either, yeah. Interesting.
December 28th. She told me that the 5 religious crosses on the dresser keeps being moved and even turned upside down.
What?
I asked Mark and Chris, why would a monkey do this? They
monkey do this?
They can't know religion. They can't be monkeys.
They don't know the religion.
They can't know religion. Maybe it was a human ghost. But to turn the cross upside down is very concerning. Is this some kind of message? I had wondered since we moved in if it had been satanic worshiping here. This would be awful and would make me want to leave. Now I am worried for Lorraine and her family.
That makes her want to leave.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait. Satanic worship is going on here? I'm out of here. That's the line.
Mm-hmm. December 29th. At sunrise, I was in the backyard snapping photos for no reason.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
No reason. Did you see someone walking around their yard?
When I looked at them, I was surprised and freaked out that there was another green neon spirit flying around the backside of the porch windows. Comparing it to the surroundings of the porch window and the table it was near, it looked like it would have been about 6-inch high x 12 inches long because of the two tails. What is it?
6 by 12. 6 inches by 12.
6-inched.
Yeah, inch X was by.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
December 30th.
All right.
We must have had a visit from Curtis.
Who's Curtis?
I just love this sentence. We must have had she can't remember. We must have had a visit from Curtis, who was my fiance in Milwaukee 2 years ago.
Wait a second. Hold up. Time out. She said she was with Mark for, like, since they were, like, 14.
Yeah.
So did she had a fiance in Milwaukee?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
We must have had a visit from Curtis, who was my fiance in Milwaukee 2 years ago. He had died in the car's back seat as we went over the Rocky Mountains.
Wait, what? Oh my goodness.
He had died in the car's back seat as we went over the Rocky Mountains from a collapsed lung. I have stayed in contact with him since through a medium, so I know he is always around me often.
Oh.
Mark and Tina came into my bedroom all excited. They showed me a magic marker and said it was found on the floor right in front of their bed this morning.
What?
Mark,
That's so paranormal.
remember, they're married again. Mark and Tina. It's her husband.
Right, his girlfriend.
Yeah. Mark said, I believe Curtis left this to show us that he is still with us. I asked, what do you mean? Mark said that this marker pen is from Milwaukee, and he had not seen it the whole time we have been back here in the last 2 years. There is no way it was in their bedroom or anywhere they knew it, but it came out of thin air. He left it for me because I would be the only person to recognize it. Curtis was showing us that he knows we are here and he is protecting us. I held that pen in my hand all day, knowing Curtis had touched it from the other side. He manifested it for us. He had a big job protecting us from these monkeys. All right.
One lung Curtis fighting off the primates.
December 31st.
Here we go.
Lorraine and Georgie were sleeping on an air mattress in my bedroom because we had to work on their room. Around 3 a.m., she woke me up to tell me that she had saw an orb looking into the room from outside their bedroom window. I told her it was okay and that we would check on it in the morning. She goes back to sleep when I hear Mark in the hallway bathroom.
Mark in the bathroom, always.
A minute later, I hear a big boom and
Big boom.
and a man moaning in the attic. I jump up and go into the hallway. Mark is there looking up towards the ceiling. We said to each other simultaneously, "Did you hear that?" I said yes, and I told him that there was a white orb outside the window looking into the room just before it happened. To me, this orb felt like a peeping Tom, and I am sure that it was the same man who moaned.
I thought Bigfoot was...
No.
I thought Bigfoot was the
I
attic.
guess there's two guys moaning in the attic.
Oh my goodness.
The next night, Mark took a couple of different sized flashlights, went to the window outside, and tried to recreate this orb. Lorraine said the orb was bigger. We found out the size of the orb was about 6 inches in diameter, and the light was stronger, so nothing matched it. The next day, I told Lorraine that maybe it was a human goat. Maybe it was not a ghost man, but one of these monkeys, because it really did not sound like a human moan.
That is the end of 2013.
The end of 2013.
Oh my goodness, dude. Oh, that was quite the pleasurable, unexpected. I feel bad about laughing about Tina, but dying of cancer.
You didn't know.
I didn't know. Oh man. Well, as if you've listened this far through the podcast, you understand that we are very serious on some podcasts. We like humor, we like to joke around, and this is one way that we are doing that. So that's my excuse for this. I know we're going to get reviews that are like, these people cackling, laughing over a woman dying of cancer. I can hear it. Like we're going to get a review, a 1 star. I don't care though anymore.
Well, then we can say if you made it this long and you enjoyed that.
Yes. I hope you laughed.
It's fun.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Like,
sometimes you need a break from all the.
Sometimes you need a break.
Yeah.
Things have been so crazy. Like that's why I like posting in the Telegram, like just wholesome stuff every now. Like life can get too crazy, too dark.
Right.
Everything's going crazy. We talk like all the time. Everything we've just talked about. The end times, a whole bunch.
Antichrist.
The Antichrist. There's nothing wrong with laughing about some.
Well,
paranormal primates.
Here's the thing: if you've listened to us long enough, we're not going to be one of those podcasts where your pastor's going to recommend it. Probably
he should,
I think, but probably because we're normal people. We laugh about the things that normal people laugh about when they're together and stuff. But the other thing too, I would say is you're saying we need to let some blow some steam off or whatever you want to call it. One of the things is, like you and I were talking before we hit record on this episode, the last episode we had, the dream episode, episode 141, before we recorded it, I had a massive spiritual attack. Mm-hmm. We recorded it, and then after it was done, like the week after it was done, I had a massive spiritual attack as well. And, I don't say that like flippantly. No. Like I'm actually one who downplays a lot of that stuff personally. But it was very clear to me, and you and I, we talked about it. We're like, it was pretty clear that Satan or the enemy was trying to do something there, and so it was pretty tense for about 3 weeks there. Just a lot of pressure, a lot of intensity. But so this is good to laugh for me personally. I hope whoever listens to this,
dude, they know.
Yeah, you know us, and if you don't want to listen to us, I'm sorry. We'll see you.
Yeah. Well. So again, that is a good setup.
Yes. For the private podcast, we'll be finishing through.
We are going to finish through. I think that was a good sample because I can say this: it gets crazier.
Great.
It gets crazier. It gets better. And I am enjoying. Like I hope you, Turner, have been enjoying this because dude, I've been enjoying.
I have a headache right now because I was laughing so hard.
And I hope the listeners, So this was I think it's a good however long it is, hour of content. I hope you laughed.
Yeah.
If you want to hear more,
private,
then we're gonna do the private podcast. If you don't,
just message me. We'll get you in. Yeah.
If you didn't, I hope you had a laugh and, move on to the next one. I'm sure
it is what it is.
Yeah. But
we love you.
Love you.
We'll catch you next time.
Yeah.
Watch out for the orbs and the moaning in your attic.
Thanks for listening to the All Out War podcast today. If you had a blast, then we'd love to have you back for another episode. So please subscribe and leave a review. We love to hear from you. You can also follow us on Instagram at All Out War Podcast or on Twitter at AOWcast. These episodes are also available on YouTube unless they contain a little too much truth. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.